Temperature of Love episode 17 inches. I've been on pins and needles, anticipating the fallout from what happened last week. At first life seems to be business as usual, but although the clouds may look innocent for now, they are definitely rumbling a warning, and I just hope our couple is ready to run for cover when the storm breaks. Episode 17 Recap. After Hyun-soo confesses her love to Young-sun, they head back to their hotel hand in hand. Hyun-soo breaks contact when they reach their hallway, wary about being seen by the surveillance cameras, sheepishly calling it an occupational hazard. Young-sun thinks for a second, then he takes her hand again and waves it at the camera with a big fat grin on his face. He jokes that he's leaving evidence, and Hyun-soo laughs and goes along with him. Meanwhile, Young-woo drives himself home, after seeing Young-sun and Hyun-soo together and obviously in love. He thinks about how both Young-sun and Hyun-soo had each confided in him about the person they loved. It never occurred to Young-woo that they were speaking of each other. At Hyun-soo's door, Young-sun asks if she wants to sleep together. She agrees, but adorably, they each go to their own hotel rooms and simply go to bed at the same time. Kyung whines at Hyun-soo for not spending any time with her today, and Hyun-soo begs her to let her sleep right now, calling today the best day of her life. Back home, Kyung and Hyun-soo have a lazy day together, sitting around watching movies in their pajamas. Hyun-soo gets a surprise text from Young-sun asking her to come outside, so she scrambles to get pretty while Kyung quickly cleans up. But Young-sun just leaves after dropping off a lunchbox, which is full of Hyun-soo's favorite spicy tteokbokki and handmade teddy bear caramels to give her energy. Young-sun bikes back to Good Soup, where Hyun-soo pops out and surprises him, having taken a taxi there. She pouts at him for not staying so that she could see him, and he offers her a ride home on his bike. Hyun-soo shyly declines, but he just says, "Okay bye," so she grabs onto his bike to stop him and accuses him of playing hard to get. Hyun-soo hops on for that ride, and on the way home she tells Young-sun that she's meeting with Young-woo today. She holds on tight, making them both smile as they remember their first bike ride together, and how they'd hit a bump and shed being forced to grab him. Later that day at Good Soup, a customer orders her meal without nuts due to an allergy. Young-sun and cook Ha-sung take particular care to keep her plates separate, but Maknae Minutes Ha accidentally moves the plate before the course is served and the customer is given the wrong dish. When Hyun-soo arrives at Young-woo's office, he gives no obvious indication that anything is wrong, though he does seem quieter than usual. He says that he wants to produce her first script. Nice Soup does not answer the phone, and Hyun-soo is pleased and honored. She's taken aback for a moment when Young-woo tells her that Hong-ah will be using her old studio, but she quickly recovers and says that she can write at home until they get organized. The news that Hong-ah will be writing for Unruly Detectives is harder to swallow, but Hyun-soo remains professional and says that Hong-ah will be a great help to the writing team. Young-woo can see that Hyun-soo is rattled, and he justifies his decision to hire Hong-ah by saying that they can't let Unruly Detectives fail. Hyun-soo asks him not to let Hong-ah use her original storyline for the remaining episodes, and when Young-woo says that's up to Hong-ah, Hyun-soo decides to talk to her personally. Hyun-soo thanks Jung-woo for continuing to work hard while she was taking time off, promising to repay him by writing a great script. She runs into Hong-ah on her way out of the building, and Hong-ah chirps that she's here to sign her contract. Young-sun's customer begins to react to the nuts in her meal, scratching red welts on her skin and gasping for air. Her husband calls for help, and when Young-sun runs out to see what's wrong, the husband grabs him and accuses him of trying to kill his wife. Young-sun stays calm and drives the woman to the hospital himself. Hong-ah rejoins Hyun-soo at a coffee shop in a bright mood, and Hyun-soo calls Hong-ah strange because she only remembers the things she wants to remember. Hong-ah says that she'll understand if Hyun-soo's seeing things in a negative light because of her situation, but Hyun-soo counters that her perspective is just fine. She tells Hong-ah not to borrow anything from her finished scripts for unruly detectives, and Hong-ah argues that Hyun-soo isn't the only one who could think of those plot points. But Hyun-soo warns her that it's all copyrighted, and she has evidence that she sent Hong-ah her scripts, so she'd win in court if it came to that.